Jesus wept is a phrase famous for being the shortest verse in the King James Version of the Bible, as well as many other versions. It is not the shortest in the original languages. It is found in the Gospel of John, chapter 11, verse 35. Verse breaks or versification were introduced in the Greek text by Robert Estienne in 1551 in order to make the texts easier to reference and compare. Context: this verse occurs in John's narrative of the death of Lazarus, a follower of Jesus. Lazarus' sisters, Mary and Martha, sent word to Jesus of their brother's illness and impending death, but Jesus arrived 4 days after Lazarus died. Jesus, after talking to the grieving sisters and seeing Lazarus' friends weeping, was deeply troubled and moved. After asking where Lazarus had been laid, and being invited to come see, Jesus wept. He went to the tomb and told the people to remove the stone covering it, prayed aloud to his Father, and ordered Lazarus to come out, resurrected. Text. Interpretation. Significance has been attributed to Jesus' deep emotional response to his friends weeping, and his own tears, including the following: weeping demonstrates that Christ was a true man, with real bodily functions. His emotions and reactions were real. Christ was not an illusion or spirit. Pope Leo I referred to this passage when he discussed the two natures of Jesus. In his humanity Jesus wept for Lazarus. In his divinity he raised him from the dead. The sorrow, sympathy, and compassion Jesus felt for all mankind. The rage he felt against the tyranny of death over mankind. Although the bystanders interpreted his weeping to mean that Jesus loved Lazarus, witness Lee considered the Jews' opinion to be unreasonable, given Jesus' intention to resurrect Lazarus. Lee argued instead that every person to whom Jesus talked in John 11 was blinded by their misconceptions. Thus he groaned in his spirit, because even those who were closest to him failed to recognize that he was, as he declared in verse 26, the resurrection and the life. Finally, at the graveside, he wept in sympathy with their sorrow over Lazarus's death. In history, Jesus' tears have figured among the relics attributed to Jesus. Used as an expletive, in some places in the English-speaking world, including Great Britain, Ireland and Australia, the phrase Jesus wept is a common expletive, curse or minced oath spoken when something goes wrong or to express mild incredulity. In 1965 broadcaster Richard Gimbleby accidentally used the expletive live on air during the state visit of Elizabeth II to West Germany. It is commonly used as an expletive in novels by author Stephen King. In his book on writing, he explained that in grade school he was forced to memorize a verse from the Bible, so he picked Jesus wept due to its short length. Other authors using it as an expletive include Neil Gaiman in the Sandman series, David Lodge in Niece's work, Mike Carey in the Hellblazer series and The Devil You Know, Peter F. Hamilton in the Night's Dawn trilogy, Mark Haddon in The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, and Dan Simmons in Hyperion Cantos. This usage is also evidenced in films and television programs including Lawrence of Arabia, Get Carter, Razorback, Hellraiser, The Stand, Michael Collins, Dogma Notes on a Scandal, Cranford, The Bank Job, 2008, Call the Midwife, 2013, and Community. See also, Dominus Flevit Church, Chapters and Verses of the Bible Statistics. References. External links, John 11:35 at Netbibble, Oliver, Simon. Milbank, John. The Shortest Verse. BibleDex Verses. Brady Heron for the University of Nottingham.